Did you know that with your talent, you can earn millions of dollars in less than 5 minutes? Crazy, right? Well, Banksy did. This creative god of art gave the audience at Sotheby's an unforgettable experience, amassing up to $25 million in less than 10 minutes in an exhibition. In this video, we'll tell the extraordinary tale of the biggest mad money vibes ever pulled in the art world. Before we begin, click subscribe and hit the bell button so you won't miss out on more exciting content from High Luxury. The Mystery Painter. On the 23rd of March 2018, an artwork by British street artist Banksy thrilled thousands of people at an auction held in Sotheby. The masterpiece, Girl with Balloon, had its first bid at $1.4 million, and soon an alarm sounded, and the art piece began to self-shred, which excited the audience. The beautiful piece of art didn't just thrill the audience, it also fetched the creative creator $25 million, a price worth 10 times its pre-shredded price. During the event, tagged the Frieze Art Fair in Sotheby, central London, Girl with a Balloon wasn't that different from the other auctioned art pieces, but the creativity was something worth all the hype it got. So, who is Banksy, and how did he create this remarkable story? Let's dive in. Banksy, born in 1974 in Bristol, England, is an anonymous painter who loves to do his art the extraordinary way and never came out in the open to confirm his full identity. Banksy began his career spray painting buildings in Bristol, England, and has become one of the world's best-known artists. His first mischievous and often satirical images were paintings of two male police officers kissing, armed riot police with yellow smiley faces, and a chimpanzee with a sign bearing the words, "Laugh now, but one day I'll be in charge." Later in his career, Banksy started to combine graffiti with performance art. In a 2003 exhibition called Turf War, he painted on the skins of live pigs. This painting is currently being sold at $50.9 million. He also made a masterpiece during the crude oil exhibition in London in 2005, where he released 200 rats from his gallery. This artwork was also a replica of the works of other famous artists such as Claude Monet, Vincent van Gogh, and Edward Hopper. In early 2005, Banksy disguised himself and secretly installed his artwork in the museums in New York City, London, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and Tate Britain. That same year, Banksy painted a wall on the Palestinian side of the West Bank. On the viewer's side of the Palestinian painting, children were seen playing on a desolate patch of earth. Then, through an apparent hole in the wall, there was a scene of a perfect tropical beach. He sold the artwork for $2.9 million. Soon, Banksy described himself as a quality vandal, challenging the authority of political and art institutions. There and then, people realized he wasn't only creative, he had pride too. Call it full confidence. Though his identity has been well guarded, Banksy came to public notice as a freehand graffiti artist in 1993. Since 2000, he has been using stencils to enhance his speed in the artwork. With stencils, wit, and stealth, he has developed a distinctive iconography of top-quality images and designs over the years, and scaled to the top mountains of the most creative artists in the world. In September 2006, Banksy went for one weekend in Los Angeles, where a warehouse installation known as Barely Legal took place. There, he displayed yet another of his artistic skills by decorating a live elephant and artwork that attracted a large crowd despite the lack of publicity for the event. The same year, he took the creativity and traveled to his home city, Bristol, in England. There, he did a painting that depicted a naked man clinging to a windowsill on the side of a public family planning clinic. Residents of his town were so excited and impressed that they decided to keep the painting in their town. In 2008, Banksy hosted a Cannes festival, staged at the Cannes Film Festival. It encouraged visitors to add their artwork to a South London rail tunnel on which Banksy and 40 other international artists had done airbrush paintings. That was a huge success, but he didn't stop there. The following year, he staged a surprise show at the City Museum and Art Gallery in Bristol. The show featured animatronics, oil paintings, and an old ice cream truck, all creative artwork. Over the past decades, British creative graffiti has become one of the world's most famous street artists. But he has maintained his anonymity over the decades, allowing his artworks and many anti-establishment pieces to help him gain prominence. Although most artists typically rely on copyright laws to protect their works from unauthorized use, Banksy began to apply to register his work as a trademark in 2014. He later set up Gross Domestic Product, a temporary shop to sell his artwork. The $1 Million Artwork. In March 2018, Banksy unveiled the $1 million artwork Girl with Balloon at the Frieze Art Fair held in Sotheby, central London. The piece consists of a half-shredded canvas, with the frills hanging from the bottom of gold, in an ornate frame bearing a spray-painted image of a girl reaching for a heart-shaped red balloon. At first, the painting did not really impress the audience, so they bid for it only $1.4 million. But soon, the painting started beeping inside the packed auction house, and a secret shredder Banksy had built into the bottom of the picture frame whirred to life. The audience watched, eyes widening, mouths agape, with hands flying to the chests as Girl with Balloon slid down into its blades, shredding into dangling strips. The shredded girl's face is now hidden behind the bottom of the frame, but the balloon above her head has not been destroyed. You can imagine the shock on people's faces when the artwork shrinks and shreds. What on earth was such magic? The irony of shredding is that it wasn't physically tearing into pieces for fun. The artwork was shredded and automatically switched miraculously into another one. The thrilled audience soon named the second artwork Love in the Bin. As speculations about the meaning of the stunt and the involvement of the auction house erupted on the streets and social media, Banksy quickly posted a video claiming credit for the prank. He later released another video saying that the shredder hidden in the frame was meant to destroy the work, but had malfunctioned. He also took to his Instagram page to post, "The urge to destroy is also a creative urge." With the sudden beauty unveiled, the price for Love in the Bin went from $1.4 million to a pre-sale estimate of $4 million. As the deliberations continued, it topped $5.5 million and $8.2 million. At that time, the event organizers in Sotheby received some criticism for failing to spot the hidden shredder, but that didn't stop the painting from going viral. After a 10-minute bidding war involving 9 bidders in the sales room and more online, the artwork sold for $25 million, a price 3 times higher than the original estimate. There, the artwork became one of the most sold prints in 2020, with 13 prints sold at auction, breaking for the first time the $400,000 barrier at auction. Alex Branchik, Sotheby's chairman of the Modern and Contemporary Creative Art Fair, said that the art stunt was one of the most ingenious moments of performance art of the century. He added, "It has been a whirlwind to follow the journey of this now legendary piece, and to have it back in our midst, offering it tonight in the same room the artist created, is such a wonderful feeling." Banksy is no stranger to making headlines, and this latest chapter in his story has captured imaginations worldwide. We can only begin to guess what might come next. The aftermath. Although Banksy became increasingly famous, he remained anonymous. His rare interviews were conducted via email, or with responses delivered by an altered voice on tape. Sometimes he made posts about his artwork on social media. The 48-year-old artist remained committed to street art, declaring that life in a city in which graffiti was legal would be like a party where everyone was invited. Nonetheless, the popularity of Banksy's work led to numerous secret and unauthorized exhibitions and reproductions, even with the trademark he registered them with. One would think making such huge sales in 2018 would make him stop painting for a while, but this god of art continued his paintings. In 2019, he developed a painting of a parliament. The Victorian-style painting depicted the British House of Commons filled with chimpanzees weeks before Britain was set to leave the European Union. It sold for $12.1 million. Several of his works have sold for millions of dollars at different auctions. In March, Banksy's mural that honored Britain's health workers, which he painted on the hospital wall, sold for £16.8 million, which amounts to $23.2 million. Another record-breaking masterpiece. Banksy is unarguably the world's most successful and praised street artist of our time. However, he faced a difficult time between 2020 and 2021. The European Union's Intellectual Property Office threw out several of his registration applications, which according to them were made in bad faith. Other artists who are envious of him have gone to the extreme of removing his paintings from the walls on the streets. Banksy is in for a big threat to his career, but he isn't deterred and is all out to make waves in the artwork industry. While we applaud him for the major wins, we wish him the best as he deals with fame and jealousy.